Wesley, but then Spatola fell down. And on the scrum, it's a jump ball. And a possession arrow will keep it in the possession of Army. Had to make that jump stop, and the brakes gave out.
Exactly. Mike Canty in the game now.
This is the three-guard look that Army has used quite a bit of late. Canty nearly had it stolen. Good look, but Woodruff didn't want to take the shot, but then was able to get the foul on DeMont. Good start for Army. A 14-point lead.
Army, a terrific free throw shooting team this year, 72%. I'll take that any day of the week for a college team.
No question. You saw Seth Barrett, the senior out of California, into the lineup for the Black Knights as Skipworth directs the attack.
Army mixing it up. They go back to the 2-3 zone now.
Skipworth with a tough pass that Ebong can't handle, and it's recovered by Barrett. Runner on the baseline for Chris Spatola. He's got 7, and the lead grows.
Wow. Beautiful shot that time on the baseline. Just a quick first step. Again, creating that space, and then the explosive shot and delivery.
Shaheel Lewis to the hoop, no. Follow try is volleyballed out to Skipworth. Well, right now there isn't a Navy player confident about shooting except that guy, Chris Williams, who finger rolls it home.
It's the pressing mid 65% from the free throw line. That'll hurt you.
Space for Spatola, yes, and one more as Cunningham got there late. Chris Spatola, who had a 23-point game against New Hampshire earlier this year, has 9 in the book.
What is it about BYU when McKelly Wesley leaves the game? They suck it up and they play great without him.
Well, Utah gambled, and this time they double up the basketball, and watch. You're going to see a ball screen by Nielsen. Now, once the screen's set, he's just going to slip to the short corner, and they just leave him completely uncovered. That's a gamble to give up an open 15-footer, and he makes him pay. Watch right here as he steps out. That's a ball screen. Now Cullen's going to step out and try to keep Whiting from turning the corner. That's the respect they have for Whiting. They leave Nielsen uncovered. Boom. The release, rotation, and the great result.
Had Jeff Johnson stayed a little more out toward the wing, they might not have been able to complete that pass.
Yeah, they were so concerned with taking away Trent Whiting's ability to drive and make a play. That's what freed up that young man right there.
5 out of 7. Cougars sizzling out of that time. And Utah at 50%. But 3 less attempts. Long way to go. BYU by 8. The Battle of Utah is raging in Provo tonight. Jacobson, good look. Spivey switching to the left hand. Pusey on the back door to knock it down. And for Mike Pusey, out in full force. Wesley.
Are you
Trey. Tonight, the one-handed jam. They are doing it all tonight. But how about Trent Whiting? He's with a whole lot more on SportsCenter when we're done. Nathan Cooper on top, looks up, sees the shot clock. It's now at 5. He will try. Stopped by Jeff Johnson. He'll dish. Wesley got it away. Off to the right. Rebound Jacobson. If McKelly banks that one in, you might as well leave the floor.
Right.
The night's over.
You know, I think Utah has played well enough on the defensive end to win this ball game. They just have not been able to put the orange thing in the orange thing with any consistency.
Nate Althoff gets...
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is presented by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And in part by Mitsubishi Motors, the 2001 Galant. Wake up and drive.
19,098 in the building tonight. They didn't count Jimmy and I, so it's 19,100. What a night for BYU basketball, and they've got what they want, a big lead down the stretch.
The ACC and the SEC drew more fans than this league, and look at Wyoming right now sitting there on top. If it has any hopes of winning the championship this year.
That could be a knockout punch. Jeff Johnson on the foul after the Utah miss, folks. It's back. In the 1997 season, 1-25 under Roger Reed and Tony Ingle. We did a big Monday game that year, and they were killed by about 50 at New Mexico. Then they hire Steve Cleveland from Fresno City College. He goes 9-21 in 98, 12-16 in 99. Last year upsets Utah in the Mountain West semis, goes 22-11, wins 2 NIT games. Utah, twice in a row now.
Well, congratulations to Steve Cleveland. I think they won this game this afternoon with an outstanding preparation, walkthrough, and they brought that focus to the floor tonight. They had to win it, and they did.
And tonight from 11 p.m. on, they weren't bad either. That's Jimmy Dykes. I'm Bob Carpenter. BYU by 8. Sports Center coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Syracuse, Missouri, and BYU victorious. Good night from Utah on Big Monday.
In Philadelphia, did a little shadowing of their own. Tony likes the new graphics here at the WB17. They got things cooking at the Park Hyatt at the Bellevue, getting a real-life lesson about the hotel industry. Some students work with chefs around the kitchen, and others shadowed desk clerks and the concierge as they went through their day. And this is an exciting time because, you know,
Payne in the third after the Flyers pull to within 4. Penguins, nice passing. Kovalev, and there's the hat trick. Pens in a laugher, 9-4 over the Flyers. Yager's 2 goals came only hours after he was cleared to play. Boucher, already in Barber's doghouse, gave up goals to Lemieux and Straka on 2 of the first 3 shots he faced. And as you might expect, some more Marvin. Look at that scoop to the hoop there. He had 14 first-half points. St. Joe's up 2. Xavier, though, finishes the half on an 8-0 run. A Romain Sato 3 beats the buzzer. Muskie's up 39-35 at the half. Oh, Marvin O'Connor blowing baseline there, and the foul. Hawks up 5 at that point. Xavier, though, answers with 6 straight. Maurice McAfee a 3 from up top, and it's the Muskies by 1. Minute left in this one. St. Joe's up 3. Putting it in the hands of the freshman, Jameer Nelson. Nice bucket there. And the Hawks are on top. Under 10 seconds to play. St. Joe's up 3. They try to get it in, but they can't do it. So Xavier's going to get a final chance to tie the game with the 3. Lloyd Price, though, blocked by Frank Wilkins. And how about St. Joe's? They hold off Xavier, take over first place in the A-10 with a 79-76 victory. O'Connor coming out big, led the Hawks with 29. Nelson chipping in with 15. St. Joe's and the Musketeers are 1-2 in the A-10. And afterwards, Martelli.
Nova up 5 at the half, 29-24. A real nail-biter in the second half. Derek Snowden playing for the injured Jermaine Medley, the steal. He's undercut by Gerald Riley, but good in the foul, and Riley gets the worst of it. Look at his eye, bleeding. Nova down 45-39. Final seconds now. Cats up 2. Georgetown needs the ball. Buchanan fires. Bang, a 3-ball. 58-53 Cats. The Hoyas get a quick 3, and they foul Buchanan. That's money, right? He misses. Gary Buchanan's streak ends at 73 straight. Made the second, and Jerry Braswell has a chance to tie it at the buzzer. No! Villanova escapes. Cats win it in D.C. 59-56.
A nice guy to come off the bench and out of the 4 spot or the 5 spot for Gail Catlett. Now he's defending Bradley. He turns the base, spins to the baseline. Kick it out, Buchanan for 3. And over the top of the backboard. Back to the Mountaineers. Coming up a couple of nights from now, we've got an instant classic for you on ESPN. Play to Phil High. Lyles will launch. And nothing but blue jerseys underneath as Wright comes down with another rebound.
Big snatch. Well, he is a presence. You noted that earlier.
Snowden, Bradley, right inside.
Now, does he see things? The point center. Don Nelson would love him in his old Milwaukee days where he had the big guys coming out to make decisions. Wonderful look off the jump shot. This is just very unselfish. Fine, and then the red 3 at the least ahead.
Bradley open. 2 on the shot clock. Sails inside from Bradley.
I'll tell you what. Vision and the ability to deliver. Oh, my goodness. Oh!
No basket.
They had wiped it out all they before the a little bit. How about the gun went off? I jumped 8 feet.
A fitting way to end the first half. Villanova really coming back in the last few minutes after starting slowly. Get a load of this from Tim Lyles, 75 feet away.
Nothing but nylon. And they had waved it totally off before.
Expect they will also move up in the AP poll when it is released tomorrow. Today, St. Joe's hosting Duquesne as the Dukes took the early 9-point lead. That, however, was before Phil Martelli unleashed marvelous Marvin O'Connor. He scored 19 in the first half as the Hawks tied things up at the half, 37-37. Then in the second, more marvelous. Yeah, he had a game-high 28. St. Joe's pulls away for the eventual 90-70 win, their 9th win in a row. And guess what? They're 23-4 overall, 13-1 in the A-10, just one loss. Meanwhile, Steve Lapis and the lads stuck between a rock and a hard place. Their NCAA tournament hopes are pretty much hanging by a thin thread. Today, the Cats hosting St. John's, and that's Gary Buchanan with the 3. Nova led by as many as 21-6 in the early going. Second half, Michael Bradley reverse layup baseline. Then it was Bradley coming up with the slam, and he's going to get fouled, and hey, Tepper's got a little foul after that shot. But Nova gets the nod as they won it 71-55. A couple of other local scores to pass on. These local teams not so lucky.
Second half, game tied at 49. Crispin launches one from way downtown, one of his 4 3-pointers. Penn State with a 3-point lead. Spartans down 1 when Jason Richardson regains the lead for Michigan State. A minute 47 remaining in the contest. Titus Ivory bangs it in. 1-point Nittany Lion lead. Back the other way. And then back down to Penn State when the shot clock winding down. Crispin throws up the prayer. It's answered. 22 points, 19 coming in the second half. Next possession, Michigan State goes back to Richardson for another triple. He had 19 to lead the Spartans. Final moments, Michigan State down 2. After 2 Crispin free throws, Marcus Taylor intentionally misses. Penn State grabs the rebound, and Jerry Dunn and his daughter celebrating. The same for Giassi. Klein Hurd as he takes the Nittany Lion off the court. Penn State knocking off the highest-ranked team the Lions have ever beaten. And the Spartans, well, they won't defend their title if they play like this, and they likely lost a #1 seed for the NCAA tournament. They can only blame themselves. 17 turnovers leading to 21 Penn State points with 16 for 30 shooting at the line. A sweet win for the Lions after suffering through that Ohio State debacle.
Redemption's great. You know, there's something about redemption that we were able to redeem ourselves tonight. We were able to redeem ourselves last night, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Penn State helped its cause with a huge upset of #2 Michigan State, 65-63 in the Big Ten quarterfinals. 15 points for Juan Dixon helped 11th-ranked Maryland advance to the ACC semifinals, topping #22 Wake Forest 71-53. The Blue Devils fused 55-54 in overtime behind a 19-point effort from Alan Griffin. And Boston College went on a 15-0 run to drill Seton Hall 75-48 and reached the championship game against Pittsburgh. Matt Bonner dropped in 22 points to lead #5 Florida past Alabama 69-61 and advanced to the SEC semifinals. On the
Shumpert warming up, but late in the first, tough blow for the Orange. Shumpert hit in the eye by Isaac Hawkins, a scratched cornea. He did not return to the game. Later in the second half, Cuse down 2. Alan Griffin drives, hits the banker. That ties it up. 5 seconds to go in regulation. We're tied when Brendan Knight, with a chance to win, no good, and we go to overtime. Tied at 51 in the extra period. Griffin from 3-point land, count it. Syracuse up by 3. But Pitt answers. Ricardo Greer spotting up from behind the arc. 54-54. Less than 5 seconds to play. Hawkins fouled down low, goes to the line for 2 after missing the first free throw. The second one, good. Pittsburgh up 55-54 with 3 seconds to play. Last chance for the Cuse. And the inbounds pass is stolen. Game over. There's your horn. And Pittsburgh upsets Syracuse 55-54. So the Panthers advance to their first ever
opener for him. It's amazing to me how good Waylon White is as an interior defender at 6'6". He does a solid job on the interior because he's quick. He throws different looks at you. He can jump so high.
Or top-seeded St. Joe's, and 4th-seeded UMass. That was Marvin O'Connor. He's all over the place. The steal and the breakaway, then knocking down a 3, then one more. O'Connor, 15 of his 26 in the first half, and St. Joe's leads by 5. But back comes UMass. Kitwana Reimer, a little drop step. He had 15 points and 13 boards. That tied it at 59. 2 minutes left. Monty Mack Another huge game for him. He had 27. UMass leads by 3. Next St. Joe's possession. O'Connor the drive. And look at Reimer. I don't think so. And check out Bruiser. Look at Bruiser with some moves here. UMass wins 75-70. Monty Mack, 10 of 16 from the field, including 5 threes. Minutemen into the conference championship game for the first time since their last win, coming in 1996.
Meanwhile, GW going for its 3rd win in 3 days, meeting Temple. Second half, the Colonials working around to Chris Monroe. The three-pointer for Monroe. GW up by 11. Lynn Greer, it's time to take over. Greer on the penetration, puts it in. Then Greer elevating from way downtown, hitting the triple. Temple down by 3. Less than 10 seconds to play. Temple down 2. Greer drives, pump fakes, and gets the foul from Patrick Gong, but Jason Smith can't believe that Greer will get 3 free throws after hitting the first 2. Greer hits the 3rd, and then GW2. So Valiant Brown, and the shot at the buzzer, oh, no good. Greer and the Owls win it 77-76. Mike King, he's heartbroken as Temple wins its 6th in a row, and GW finishes the season 14-18. 1 win away for Temple from defending their conference tournament title. They've won a half a dozen in a row.
Led Mountain West crew here at the Thomas & Mack in Las Vegas. Second semifinal with BYU awaiting the winner of this one.
Jeff Kibler, our producer, used to blow his trumpet loud in this building, didn't he, as a member of that Rebel Pep band?
Boy, he was something. He was sitting in the first chair, I think. 39-37 New Mexico. Director Mark Allen, his father, a longtime running Rebel executive. And Douglas on the drive draws a foul. Look right at it.
They're chasing him every time he comes off the screen. Utah
on Colorado State. He was 47-43. New Mexico running down to the 7-minute mark remaining in this one.
They're almost going to be at that 5-minute mark and be within reach. What do you think?
I think they're well within reach.
Yeah.
Backing in Spivey. He let his man.
Ready to play Game 2 of the Big Ten semifinals. Penn State and Iowa. Who gets to play Indiana for the Big Ten Conference Tournament Championship? We'll see you at the half. Enjoy the game here on CBS.
And then last night's shocking takedown of national champion Michigan State that has some saying it was the biggest win in school history. Today they'll face Steve Alford's Iowa Hawkeyes, who despite key injuries have found some Chicago hope. 2 wins, including a stunning comeback upset of Ohio State. And now they're looking to pound out another win today to reach the championship. Well, the Windy City has turned into Upset City, USA, at the Big Ten Tournament, presented by State Farm. Penn State and Iowa in the second semifinal, with the winner of this game to meet Indiana tomorrow for the Big Ten champion. Buzzer beaters at the end, you could say.
Well, Jim, we talked about it in the first game today, that air ball that sometimes turns out to be the perfect pass. Klein Hurd puts that one in so that Penn State can beat Michigan. And then Crispin, with some incredible plays down the wire, hits one of the biggest threes of his career to have that big upset win against Michigan State.
Beat the shot clock there by just a fraction of a second with
lasting trucks on the road. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Genuity, delivering Black Rocket, the e-business network platform, on the web at genuity.com.
So they've never been a 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed between either one of these teams. And Steve Alford, a coach who has a great history in the Big Ten, never even played in a Big Ten championship, tournament championship. So a lot of unknowns here. Let's see what happens.
Iowa with the first possession. Struggled late in the year with a lot of injuries hampering this team, but wins in the tournament over Michigan and Ohio State. Iowa from the outside with Henderson make that Northwestern.
Here with Syracuse last night, they thought it would happen earlier, but with the pressure and players like Troy Bell, it would happen eventually. It looks like it is now.
Last night's game, although low scoring, was a lot of energy expended. The triple from Harley. Now it's 18. This is the way BC plays. You look up and all of a sudden they have a huge lead. Greer lost it. Eagle ball. Timeout pit.
Come on, baby, chip on. This one goes on. It's a 60-second timeout.
That ball must hit a lively spot on the floor on him, too. Straight ahead, Dennehy. Palmer, great transition. Waylon White to finish.
Those kind of sequences favor New Mexico. The broken floor.
Big dance by virtue of tonight's Atlantic 10 title win over UMass. Owls coach John Cheney looking calm, but this was a nail-biter. Temple down by 1 when David Hawkins makes a couple of nice pump fakes, sinks the basket, the Owls go up. Later in the second now, UMass by 3 when Quincy Wadley makes the strong move to the hoop. It is good. Temple trails by 1. Play of the game now. Owls have taken the lead. Lynn Greer with an absolute circus move. Loses control, gets it back, count the basket and the foul. Temple is on to win by 11 and clinch a spot in the NCAA tournament. Up in Hempstead, New York, the Delaware Blue Hens battling Hofstra for the America East crown and an automatic bid to the tournament. Delaware trailed this one most of the way. Late second half, the Blue Hens' Ajmal Bassett with the power move to the lane, plus the foul. Delaware down by 4, but back comes Hofstra. Roberto Gittins with 2 of his 17 on a nice jump hook. The Pride lead by 8. Delaware hanging tough. Now watch this move by Greg Miller, 2 of his 20 on a baseline drive and reverse. The lead is again 4, but the Pride have simply too much. Jason Hernandez, watch this as the shot clock winds down. A prayer of a jumper. When those start falling, it's all over. Hofstra wins by 14 and goes to the dance. Better news for the Delaware women. America East title game for the NCAA women's tournament bid. Lady Blue Hens by 2 with less than half a minute to go when Vermont's Morgan Hall hits the jumper. We're going to overtime. Here's the play that won it. Delaware's Lindsay Davis misses the free throw, but grabs her own rebound, and the putback puts Delaware ahead. They go on to beat Vermont 69-64, and we'll go to the ladies' NC2A. Well, we told you...
2018, New Mexico, 6:20 before halftime. The Mountain West Championship game in this league in its first year with the automatic bid. McKelly Wesley traffic. Ryan Smith bellied up on him. Trent Whiting long, short rather with the 3. The long rebound finding Brian Smith.
See what BYU did, Bob, when that shot was taken. They sent 2 guys. BYU sent 2 guys to the offensive glass and 3 to defense. So they're not going to get a lot of second and third opportunities if they keep that going. That's the respect they have for that New Mexico transition. 2 to the offensive glass, 3 to defensive transition for BYU right now.
Ben Whiting, Marlon Palmer watching him. Lobo fans down at that corner of the court making a lot of noise for defense. Whiting can shut them down in a hurry. And that's 7 for the senior out of Kuna, Idaho, who played for Rick Majerus before transferring midseason last year. What an addition he has been to this club.
I'll tell you this, how important Trent Whiting is. 2 of BYU's 8 losses this year occurred before that young man became eligible. The NCAA committee's got to take that into consideration.
A 3 for Ruben Douglas. His second tray of the night. He has 8. And the Lobos back up by 3 as they trade baskets here. Cooper back in for BYU. Eric Nielsen leaves. And Ruben Douglas off to a decent start. 3 of 7, 2 of 5 from three-point range after missing his first 3. Midday looking to drive. Jack Field in front of him. Waylon White defending. Can't do anything about it. And a 3 from...
With the 4-point lead early. Georgia Tech then missing. Naeem Crenshaw ahead to O'Connor. And he puts it in there. St. Joe's is up 9. They're putting on a show. Tyrone Barley penetrates. Then the pretty dish to Damian Reed for the easy one. Part of a 15-0 Hawks run. They led by 13, and they were hustling. O'Connor, the great save on the outlet pass. Alexander Sazanov, the layup and the foul. St. Joe's up 17 at the half, but the Yellow Jackets do battle back in the second. Halston Lane for 3. Then Tech in transition. Tony Akins, nice bounce pass to Darryl LeBerry. Jackets on a 9-0 run. This time LeBerry open for Alvin Jones. Tech cuts it to 5. The Hawks, though, then step it up. Here, off the miss. Nelson in transition. Watch this fake here. Oh, the Tech defense and the cameramen all looking for their underwear. O'Connor finishes with style. Then with 90 seconds left, Hawks, again, it's Nelson splitting the defense, getting the tough layup. 40 seconds left. Hawks up 3. LeBerry lobbing for Jones. He misses the slam, and Nelson runs down the loose ball. Take another look at this play. It looks like Bill Phillips smacks Jones right in the face, but no blood, no foul. Martelli makes good on his promise of playing 2 games as the Hawks beat Georgia Tech 66-62. O'Connor scored 13 of his game-high 21 in the second half. Hawks also tie a school record with their 26th win of the year. This one wasn't pretty. St. Joe
short jumper helped Hampton stun second-seed Iowa State 58-57. The Cyclones became the 4th 2-seed to fall in NCAA play. The Big Ten's lost 3 of its 7 from the field of 65. 4-seed Indiana was immobilized by number 13 Kent State in San Diego. Trevor Huffman scored 24 for the Golden Flash. Earlier, 5-seed Ohio State was extended to OT by Utah State's Tony Brown. Then the Aggies turned it up and went on to a 77-68 win. Wisconsin's out thanks to Georgia State, and former Maryland coach Lefty Driesell will face the Terps in round 2. Missouri advanced. Clarence Gilbert's baseline jumper with time winding down carried the Tigers past Georgia 70-68. Nathaniel Burton's lay-in as time expired was the difference as Georgetown upended Arkansas 63-60.
Is if the Owls and the Blue Devils both advanced to the NCAA championship game. And in that case, I'm sure John Chaney would have a change of heart. The heart of Friday's contest most likely lies in the big guys, Temple's Kevin Lyde and Texas' Chris Owens. The Longhorns' junior forward averages 14 points and 8 rebounds. He also accounted for 91 blocks in 33 games.
These reports from the Big Easy as she follows the Owls throughout their run and offers us a different perspective of the Hawks as they prepared, played, and celebrated yesterday's win.
This is probably a little bit more exciting because we've seen the downside of it. You know, we've been kicked to the curb, so to speak, and now we're back. And you know, just that little rally at the hotel will be something that these players will never forget.
Nervous a little bit. I mean, but as soon as the ball go up, butterfly's gonna be gone.
I'm nervous. Not nervous to play, but just nervous to get out there.
I've been waiting for the game since we got here. That's all I wanted to do is play.
Don't you even think for a minute that you are not good enough. You St. Joe's, you individually, you collectively. You've been good enough 25 times. They called your name for a reason, because you're one of the best teams in America. And all we have to do for 40 minutes is be us. You are good enough. You don't have to be extraordinary, Jameer. You don't have to be extraordinary, Mark. You don't have to be extraordinary, Billy. You're all good enough. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We can get whatever we want. We can get whatever we want on offense. So we have to keep passing the ball. We have 16 field goals and 14 assists. Okay? Because we're sharing the ball. When it comes time for you to take your shot, take your shot. Tied a school record for wins in the season. Let's break it on Saturday. Let's break the record. 1, 2, 3.
Idaho, Tarvis Williams' short jumper helped Hampton stun second-seed Iowa State 58-57. The Cyclones became the 4th 2-seed to fall in NCAA play. The Big Ten's
can only imagine what it's like at State College right now. NCAA tournament game in their careers until tonight.
Well, and just think how they felt after that Iowa game in the Big Ten, where after a moment of elation beating Michigan State and then playing so poorly against Iowa, and a lot of that was due to the fact that Iowa played so well, particularly Reggie Evans, who just controlled everything inside. But they get it back in a hurry. First miss in a while.
After 13 straight.
thinking 3, and Penn State is just guarding the perimeter.
Doesn't matter now. It's going to be Penn State's night. Get ready to make it official. Penn State's going to the second round, the first tournament win in 10 years.
Very good job by Jerry Dunn out there tonight. Providence never got in sync, and there's that mascot.
The Nittany Lion.
Number 30, Jim, you said 30 was lucky. Remember, it was 30-30 at halftime.
And I said, you know what? That's perhaps a little omen.
That's
because
right.
the Nittany Lions wearing the 30. You got to give them the advantage. Penn State advances to the second round, knocking out Providence. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Jim, thank you. So the Nittany Lions move on. They'll await the winner of North Carolina and Princeton later this evening. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, Iona and Ole Miss.
They do hit their shots first at the end of the half. Quincy Wadley, you got to love that. And he was fouled on the play. 26 for Quincy. Lynn Greer took over in the second half. He had 19. Temple by 14, 79-65.
It was supposed to be the greatest homecoming since E.T. Ken Griffey Jr. came home to Cincinnati last year, hoping to live happily ever after.
I've never felt relaxed from day one. He's not the only one that didn't have fun, though. I mean, this whole team didn't have fun because we did not play the way we were supposed to play.
What Ken Griffey found out, what the Cincinnati Reds found out, is that baseball guarantees no fairy tales. What baseball does guarantee is that every spring you get to try it all over again. If ever there was a team grateful for that opportunity this spring, it's Griffey and the Reds.
I think last year around here was pretty much like a circus. This year it's totally different. I mean, it's like the calm before the storm.
There's nobody here. I mean, nobody. You can hear the guys mowing the grass right now for us. I mean, it is absolutely quiet.
For Griffey and the Reds, there is sweetness in that silence. It has allowed the Reds to get back to the basics of baseball and Griffey to get back to being a teammate instead of a sideshow.
I don't like to be the center of attention. I mean, I want to be a part of a group that gets the attention, not just the one guy. I have 25 guys, 24 other guys that they depend on me and I depend on them. And that's it. The bottom line is, you know, I depend on them just as much as they depend on me.
But when you're the biggest star in baseball, you can never completely be one of the guys. So it's taken the Reds a full year to understand how Griffey fits into the fabric of what used to be just a quiet, low-budget little team.
There's a lot of expectation, but there always is with Junior. There will be this year. But I think he's seeing we've got a very good ball club. He doesn't have to. None of my players have to do anything extra. That's my theme to the team, is like, just do what you can do.
The Reds and Griffey need to separate the perception of last season from the reality. And the reality is they weren't that bad. Only 9 other players in baseball had as many homers and RBIs as Griffey. And the hitters around him were good enough to become the first team since the '32 Yankees to avoid being shut out all season.
To tell you the truth, I mean, I think we had expectations were so high for the Cincinnati Reds last year that people were like, well, we can't believe they didn't make it the postseason. But when you look back and you say 85 wins, the Yankees won 87 games. I mean, that's a pretty decent year.
But they spent last year trying to live up to the magic of 1999 when they sneaked out of the bushes with a $31 million payroll to win 96 games. And this spring seems surprisingly reminiscent of 1999. No circus, no expectations, and the 7th lowest payroll in baseball. The difference is one rejuvenated superstar trying to prove you can go home again.
I think he's more comfortable, and I'm sure when he gets out there to play this year, it's going to show that he's going to be more comfortable than what he was last year.
With the Reds in Sarasota, I'm Jason Stark, ESPN.
Jason, thank you. Even though
to Mario Lemieux, beating Roberto Luongo. Lemieux with 2 on the night. He's got 30 on the season. We're tied at 3. And then Joseph Baratic wraps it around and beats Luongo. His 9th, and the Pens go on to win 6-3. Hedberg made 41 saves in his first career start to pick up his first.
Twins back in now. But the flow and momentum is all St. Joe's.
Jameer Nelson, he is the spark plug. 58-54 Stanford. 12 for Nelson.
Julius Barnes has to deliver here with Mike McDonald, regular point guard, sitting on the bench now with 4 fouls. At what point does Montgomery bring him back?
Inside, Jason Collins rims out, and it's knocked out of bounds by Mendez. Ball to St. Joe's.
Jameer Nelson. Can this be a freshman? Oh, my.
Now the game is Philadelphia's pace. The public league that all these guys came out of. Nice passing.
Wide open to Susanov. And for the first time in the game, St. Joseph's leads 59-58 at the 10-minute mark.
The Hawk will never die.
16 tied at 80. CBS
Season on the line right here.
McDonald, a brilliant three-point shooter, is short, but Mendez gets it back, and he is fouled. And they have just fouled the best free throw shooter in the nation. This
outside rotation to the follow-through. O'Connor's got to deliver here.
Jacobson, good fake by O'Connor, and he hits it. And the quick timeout, the last one that Martelli on the St. Joe's bench had. It's still endowed, 86-83. With that last tray to equal his career high, we're down to 12.7 seconds. They're on their feet for Marvin O'Connor. What a game for O'Connor. 15 for 20 field goal attempts, 37 points and 5 rebounds, and a heart as well. It goes to the sideline.
But still such an
show their class.
Stanford still has not lost on the road this year.
18 straight road wins for the Stanford Cardinal. The #1 team advances to the Sweet 16. Mike Montgomery, Phil Martelli, congratulations to all, and what a brilliant evening for Marvin O'Connor, the junior, for the St. Joseph Hawks with his 37 points, and the Cardinal players, one by one, will congratulate him. 30th win this season for Stanford. That ties a team record, and now we can check the bracket in the West. The Sweet 16 is set. From this region,
John plays with his own defense. He never gets involved in pressure. It's easier for him to play at all. That sets the pace right there.
Wadley says goodbye to New Orleans with a 3 at the buzzer. Now seconds to go, and the Gators go down to the Temple Owls by 21.
Boy, a terrific job by the Temple team, but in particular a backcourt that played as well as you can play for 2 games. Billy Donovan has to be very disappointed, but he'll gear it up, I guarantee you, starting tomorrow morning.
John Chaney has done it again. He has coached his Owls to the Sweet 16.
Of the South region, Penn State and North Carolina set to do battle. Let's send you to New Orleans and join Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
Welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans. Penn State and North Carolina fighting it out for the right to travel to Atlanta and the regional and the Sweet 16 to take on Temple. Already a winner here today.
Situation. We have Kleinherd, who's been an outstanding performer for Penn State throughout his career. 16 and 10 the other day. He's had 10 doubles this year. And I think that his explosiveness inside could prove a real problem, and there's that wink of success for the North Carolina big men.
Maybe Jersey in the backcourt for the Nittany Lions on the Carolina side. Again, Julius Peppers will start in place of Chris Lang. And Bonnie Bernstein is with us here in New Orleans as well. Bonnie, take it away.
Jim, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a Penn State player who wants this game more than Titus Ivory. The North Carolina native always dreamed of playing for the Tar Heels, but never got a look. Now, as a team's top defender, he draws a pretty tough assignment in Joe Forte, but Ivory said to me, revenge has been a long time coming, and today is the day. Jim?
All right. Well, you know, Billy, you could almost argue this is a program that way back in 1954 with its star Jesse Arnell went to the Final Four, but
not much in between.
Not much in between. And if Penn State could somehow find a way to beat mighty North Carolina here today, could be the biggest win in the program's history, or right up there with what happened in '54. What do you think?
Well, it'd be certainly right up there. It wouldn't match '54 because that's a Final Four.
But they had fewer games to get to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, back then.
But one of the things that you also have to think about this team, they have beaten 2 #1 seeds. They've beaten Illinois and Michigan State. That Michigan State game just a week or so ago. And so that they are really capable of going up against an outstanding club and doing well. And lost in the finals in Philadelphia to to Indiana, and then to Georgia in '83 in a regional final, and then '84, probably the most disappointing loss of his entire life, is when that great team with Michael Jordan and Sam Perkins lost to Indiana down in Atlanta.
It would be Jordan's last game. He would leave after his junior year, and Doherty's last. He was a senior. Peppers again from the inside.
North Carolina doing something that very few teams are capable of doing, and that is throwing right over the top interior-wise of the zone.
Oh, John Crispin got it back. He's the sophomore. His brother, number 3, is the senior. They've talked about how they realize that one loss and playing together, that could come to an end, never be on the same team again, except in some kind of old man's league, maybe, somewhere down the road. Inside, Joe to Klein Hurd.
Now, North Carolina really...
My dad's got a schedule for that.
Dinner's at 11-ish.
Marky, go work in your room.
There's no desk up there, and I can't stay awake. I just get in bed, it's like, out.
Would you like a room with a nice big workspace?
Great.
What's this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Grandma.
Want a room with a work?
Maple given chase. Crispin lays it in for the 9-point lead. His first 2 of the game.
Another turn.
Haywood sends it out. And there are 8 seconds on the shot clock. Joe Crispin and Watkins tips it around. Penn State again keeps it alive. It's been a long possession, Billy.
Well, the total rebound advantage by North Carolina. Now it comes down the wire, and they can't get one. 3 offensive rebounds by Penn State in that sequence. They've got everything spread out, so you're getting a lot of long rebounds.
Tyler Smith, one of the biggest shots of his career, buries it.
Nice job by Watkins, and you can see what's happening to North Carolina right now. Penn State
stolen away. Watkins has come in. He kept it alive on the last possession and makes the steal here with 1:50 to play.
Had a very good game against Providence, giving them good solid play here. And because they have things spread out so far, Jim, it takes away the rebounding advantage of the big men for North Carolina.
Timeout, Penn State.
Nice job, Penn State.
Penn State 73, North Carolina 70. It's right by him. Sets up Ivory. Jump shot.
Oh,
got it. That's a 2. It's ruled a 2.
Again, you have North Carolina with a big lineup out there, not able to cover the court.
Forte finds Capel, baseline. Spin, back out. Peppers lays it in. Back to a 1-point game. A 3-point game.
But here's where you try to play, Jim, a little offense and defensive squads. Look at how Penn State has it spread out. North Carolina too big to go out and press them with their big fellas.
Double team on Ivory. 75-72. Penn State. Watkins in the middle. He'll take the shot. Can you believe it? One of the last guys you would expect. He had 2 for 2. Carolina must come back from 5 down with 45 seconds to play.
They don't need a 3 here. Drive to the basket if you're Curry. Drive to the basket.
Has to go back out. Forte, 3-pointer. Bounces out. Rebound, Klein Hurd.
And he's just going to hold it until he gets fouled. And he gets fouled before they call a jump.
Is it on Haywood?
Yes, it is. That's all for him, isn't it?
Haywood has fouled out. That's his... Forte. Rebound to Crispin.
And a foul, and it puts Crispin on the line, and that seals this game. And Jim, what's really interesting, in '54, when Penn State went to the Final Four, do you know another team that's kind of making a story? Southern Cal was in the Final Four. Do we have some mystery names?
Both are gone to the Sweet 16.
That's right.
For Friday in the last 46 years, and now they're about to knock off a Final Four team of a year ago, the storied program of North Carolina. Penn State only 9 seconds away from knocking off number 2 seed North Carolina in the South region.
It's the first loss ever in the Dome for North Carolina. Won 2 national championships here, and of course won the other night. But today they were totally out of sync.
And the Penn State Nittany Lions are heading to the Sweet 16.
Joseph Forte walks off the floor, gets congratulated by Crispin, but this wasn't his day. It was all about the Nittany Lions.
And Klein Hurd, it's a tradition. When they win, he carries the Nittany Lion right on his back off the floor. Team that relies on a little brotherly love in the backcourt.
Well, they have that, Jim, and they also have seniors that did not want to play their last game. Terrific job and a great coaching job by Jerry Dunn.
And terrific. And they'll be heading to Atlanta to take on a team from the city by that moniker.
Yep.
Brotherly Love Temple. They'll meet him in the next round Friday in Atlanta. Titus Ivory, a dedication game to his mother here in a local New Orleans hospital.
Nice way to say, I love you, Mom. Huh?
Yeah, he said, please tell her I love you. She'll be released tomorrow. Had some stomach problems yesterday, and she's in for observation.
He's loving it.
He's got the arms out. There's a hug on the way. Penn State to the Sweet 16. North Carolina is out. We're going back to New York and to Greg Gumbel in just a moment.
Have you had your fill of hoops? Welcome back to our studios here in New York. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. We just saw Penn State knock off North Carolina 82-74. Penn State goes to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1954. They advanced past the second round. Let's go back out to New Orleans to the Louisiana Superdome where Bonnie Bernstein was with a happy pack of Lions.
Jerry Dunn, Penn State going to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1955. I can't imagine how good this one feels.
All the glory to God. I tell you, he's great. These guys, I can't say enough for them, Bonnie. They have given me all they've got. They've stuck to the plan throughout this entire tournament. They played as a unit. We've done one heck of a job defensively.
All right, where's Titus? Titus Ivory. I know you wanted this game. You're from North Carolina. You said you were looking for revenge. A career high 21 for you.
Thank you. It was a great win. My teammates pulled behind me. They knew how much this meant to me. You know, now I can go back home and have a little bit of bragging rights.
Jerry, the one thing that sticks out of my mind, turnovers and the way your team capitalized on it. How clutch were those?
Yeah, I thought that going into the season, we had to find ways to score some easy buckets, and I thought our defense would help us do that. I thought during practice and during the course of the Big Ten season, we got better at it.
Jerry, thanks. Congratulations to the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Well, for the fifth straight Sunday, Carolina loses. The last 5 Sundays, they've lost to Clemson, Virginia, Duke twice, and now a very tough Penn State team.
I tell you what a scene, what a tremendous effort by Penn State. I didn't see it coming. I thought Carolina's size would be the advantage. Penn State's defense was outstanding. They played exactly the game they needed to play to win and pull off that big upset.
4 Big Ten teams, 4 Pac-10 teams in the Sweet 16. A timeout. We'll continue on the road to the Final Four after this.
Is complete, and at the expense of some higher seeds. The biggest surprise of the day belongs to 7th seed Penn State, toppling number 2 North Carolina 82-74. Titus Ivory pumped in a career-high 21 points in the effort.
We're riding in uncharted waters right now, and I tell you, it feels great.
11th seed Temple built a commanding 20-point lead in the first half behind 17 of Quincy Wadley's 20 points and cruised past 7th seed Florida 75-54. Penn State up next. The glass slippers fit 12th seed Gonzaga better than number 13 Indiana State this year. Casey Calvary and Dan Dickow combined for 33 of their 44 points in the second half for the 85-68 win. And 4th seed Kansas disposed of 5th seed Syracuse 87-58. Drew Gooden collected 17 points and 15 rebounds to hand the Orangemen their worst NCAA tournament defeat. The defending champion Spartans are the only Final Four team from last year to return and face Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. The fellow Big Ten Illini drained 10 three-pointers to meet Kansas next. The Wildcats are the 4th Pac-10 team to join the Sweet 16.
They held a pep rally in State College to send off the team today. The Lions shocked North Carolina on Sunday to reach the South Region semifinals. They're not satisfied with just being in the Sweet 16 anymore. They are looking for more. There they're chanting there for their head coach on North Broad Street today at a pep rally for the Temple Owls. The students worship him, but John Chaney says...
Under 12 Thursday. In the East, Duke moved into the East Regional Final after gunning past UCLA 76-63. Jason Williams had a career-high 34.
Our defense was once again the thing that kind of held us together, and we kind of turned that fire up going into the second half.
USC's in position for its first Final Four since 1954 after clipping Kentucky 80-76. David Blumenthal hit 6 threes and made 5 straight free throws late on his way to 27. Maryland's in the regional final for the first time since 1975. Lonnie Baxter scored 26 and pulled down 14 boards as the Terps trounced Georgetown by 10. Their opponent will be Stanford. Jason and Jaron Collins combined for 29 and 14 rebounds as the Cardinal crushed Cincinnati 78-65. Scottie Pippen's
are much higher. Phil Andrews joins us now live outside the Georgia Dome with more on tonight's NCAA game. Yo, Phil.
How you doing there, Mr. Mark? Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you listen, everything is kind of cool, calm, and quiet right now. But at 2 separate locations, as I speak, in Atlanta, there are 2 pep rallies going on. One for Penn State, one for Temple. As a matter of fact, we just left the Temple pep rally.
Basketball is becoming almost as big as butter pecan.
Before it was like Pennsylvania playing in the state of Georgia. Let's go live for it all. Phil Andrews with some raw emotion tonight. You've got it all, Phil.
Well, Gary, as you know, the celebration doesn't actually start during tip-off. It starts way before tip-off. We told you earlier at the top of the 6th that there were 2 rallies going on right now, one for Penn State, one for Temple, and we were at the Temple pep rally, and as you know, we can't get enough of that Temple stuff. Obviously, no lack of school spirit for the folks at Temple. As a matter of fact, as we come back live here outside the Georgia Dome, I'm surrounded by Temple.
The Owls hope that Quincy Wadley can continue his torrid shooting. The senior poured in 50 points last weekend. With every game potentially his last, Quincy intends to go out with a bang.
It definitely is just extra motivation in my mind, knowing there's goals that I want to accomplish and things I want to do. So I'm just trying to put my best foot forward right now.
Is the key who has the better guard play? Is it you and Quincy versus the Crispins and Ivory?
I don't think it's the guard play. I think it's going to be a defensive thing. If we stop them from scoring, they stop us from scoring, that's what's going to win the game. Who plays a better defense?
Penn State will need a lift from sharpshooter Joe Crispin. The senior from Pittman, New Jersey, says it may be the Sweet 16, but it's just another ball game.
When you're down here, it's just like, well, you know, it's another game. Let's go out and hoop, have some fun. And I think that's the best mentality to have.
And Joe hopes to have more games playing alongside little brother John.
Joe said, you know, let's keep on winning. I want to play a few more games with you. I'm just like, let's not even talk about that because, you know, let's not even think about this being our last game together.
All right, action at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Temple getting set to take on Penn State. We will send you to Atlanta and join Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery after this message and a word from your local station.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Game 2 in the South Regional semifinal. This one, an interstate matchup, meeting for the second time this year. Out of the Atlantic 10, it's the Temple Owls. Out of the Big 10, it's the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Penn State won the first one back in December. This one has a little more relevance. The winner of this game takes on Michigan State, the defending national champions, in round. Starting lineups on your left, the Owls. They are not a deep team whatsoever. The starting 5 averages better than 35 minutes. Wesby, Hawkins, Lyde, Greer, and Wadley, a great backcourt for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Titus Ivory,
And the remainder of their group, the Crispin brothers, Joe and John, Jossie Klein-Hurd, and Tyler Smith. Tip control by the Temple Owls in the hands of the lefty, Lynn Greer.
And Penn State, Vern Lundquist goes, minute.
And that means Joe Crispin's out on the point on Lynn Greer. There's the pass inside to Kevin Lyde. He's guarded by Tyler Smith. Ever so patient, this Temple Owl team. Lyde, soft jumper, good for two.
If he can bounce it, they're going to come third. Well, Daddy will be happy seeing him do that. Guard did a little of that in his playing days.
That's Todd Blackledge, his wife Sherry, sitting next to him and next to his former coach, Joe Paterno.
Now, he was in a room in the hotel that you have not been in all year.
Oh, wait a minute.
The workout room.
Oh, did I miss you in there? Was I?
You must go real early.
Was I in there earlier than you again today?
And judging by Todd, he goes to the weight room or the workout room quite a bit.
The Blackledge's parents of 3 young children. See the hand? Yeah. Jossie Klein-Hurd. That was suggested by Clint. And under and not there. Jossie Klein-Hurd.
Particularly down the stretch here.
Jossie Klein-Hurd. Everything continues to go the way of the Owls tonight. 4 rounds of 16. They've never lost a regional semifinal. They can keep that record intact tonight.
And with guys making decisions like that on the inbounds, they get another steal. And how about Trevor? I mean, he has played so well. And then now he takes it to the rim, and John wanted to throw it back out. He can't believe it. He can't believe he took the shot. Oh, is he animated? He's like a teenager on the sideline, and what a boost in a task. What did I do wrong?
The man who's given so much to Penn State and received much in return.
And Titus had the camera out taking shots, and Jossie, and this is just a great feeling. I mean, there's sadness, but the culmination of terrific effort. And there's Gar, I'm sure, as emotional as his son.
First trip to the Sweet 16 since 1954. Ends in sadness for the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Truly, but a memorable year.
Truly a great run, Vern. Just disappointment, and the brothers probably playing for the last time together.
Among the highlights of their year, Game 2 of the season, when Joe Crispin tossed in 31 and John Crispin 26 as they won at Kentucky.
13 threes, huh? Right. It's probably the... Plays it hard, plays it tough, and runs the show.
Jerry Dunn and John Chaney congratulate each other on a job well done at center court. Temple takes on Michigan State Sunday. They win it by 12 here. We go back to New York. Here's Greg Gumbel.
Ball comes into your triple threat position. Get those elbows out in established position. Don't let the little pretty boys come in and close out on you.
Illinois fans shouting air ball as Boshi was dribbling after his last missed attempt. Chenoweth way outside, forced away from the hoop, and here's Gooden. And he hits a tough 10-footer over Marcus Griffin.
The left side of the court clearly
7-73 in the West Regional Final. Lonnie Baxter pumped in 24 points in the winning effort.
They knew they had the confidence that was necessary to beat a team as good as Stanford, and I think that was the key thing. They just made up their minds as we moved through the tournament that we were, going to be a tough out.
In the East Regionals, Duke made it 2 ACC teams in the Final Four. The Blue Devils topped USC 79-69. Jason Williams dumped in 28 points and pulled down 7 boards for the Blue Devils.
From right here in Philly, Duke and USC. Shane Battier gets the ball to Jason Williams. Nothing but net. Duke up 6. USC finds back. Ryan Scalabrine knocks down the 3 to get the Trojans within 5. But the Dukies are too strong. Casey Sanders in for the slamma-jamma. Dukes go up 12. They go on to win this one 79-69. They are headed to the Final Four. Meanwhile, Stanford and Maryland.
Third straight trip to the Final Four. The Spartans hold off Temple 69-62 to win the South Regional. Michigan State's depth too much for John Chaney's Owls to overcome.
We needed to push the ball up and down the court. We did a little bit of that. I also thought the key maybe to the game was Andre Hudson and getting the ball in the middle of that zone and letting him make decisions.
It just hurts to lose and that the season is there, and then when you stop and think that, we could have made history and been a part of that. We didn't accomplish that goal.
Arizona completes the Final Four bracket. The Wildcats knock off Midwest top seed Illinois 87-81 to set up a matchup against Michigan State in Minneapolis.
So pleased for our guys to have to go through what they've gone through, and now they're in a position where they can achieve their season goals.
In the NBA, the Lakers score 18 straight points in the fourth quarter.
Of 5 awards, its star Russell Crowe took home the Best Actor award. It also picked up Oscars for Best Achievement in Costume Design, Achievement in Sound, and Best Visual Effects. The Best Director award went to Steven Soderbergh for Traffic. He'd also been nominated for his movie Erin Brockovich. That film starred Julia Roberts, and she took home the Academy's pick for Best Actress for her role as a single mother who takes on a powerful polluting utility company and wins. We'll have more of the night's big winners coming up at 54 after the hour in our lifestyle section.
That's how old my...
Down the curtain on the NCAA men's basketball season tonight when they meet for the national championship.
This is your first game. I'm going to break you in easy.
Please.
Let's go with the Barras. John Burkett. Bob says that managing Aaron, he probably talks to him less than he talks to just about any other player on his roster. And the Aaron between the lines. Dad is just Skip. Sent a long way down the left field line and hooking foul into the second deck. Bob says once the game is over, then it becomes Dad again and has absolutely no control over Aaron.
Well, what an exciting thing if that fastball ends up being fair there with a 3-2 fastball count, hitting a home run with your son playing. Your first game managing, back managing.
Also hit well to left. Serhoff on the track, 2 steps in front of the wall for the third out.
Right here. It hits on the black.
Has turned into 40 feet. You have to scale out there with the walls brought in and 13,000 seats removed to allow for the construction of the new ballpark.
Down, and today it looks like it's trying to blow in, and maybe the ball is turning around. I think that flag will fool us. I think it'll be opposite.
I think 6 minutes. Larkin led off the 6th inning with a single up the middle. Tucker followed with a base hit. Young moved him up with a ground out. Casey rips one to right. Jordan back, watches it sail, gone. 3-run home run, tie game.
Andy just mentioned, you see deep to right center field by Rowland. Owens back. It's going to get knocked down by the wind. He'll make the play, but Scott Rowland gets the job done and knocks in Bobby Abreu with the Phillies' 4th run.
Good to see that too, getting that guy in there.
Right back at Telemaco. Can he find it in time? Yes, he can. Game over. Phillies win 6-5. Amari Telemaco is a man of the hour, and Larry Boa has a W in his first game as skipper of the Fighting Phils. What a job by Telemaco. A game in which they never trailed, and Amari Telemaco is the man of the hour for the Phillies.
They can't match up with him. That's got to be Jefferson's man. Arenas drives, no foul, and Boozer clear. Could really never adjust to that experience very well and had all kinds of problems. It's good to see that he's been able to get his career back on track. James baseline jumper. Rattles it home for a 2. That's a big shot. James has been a very valuable player for Duke. Has played fewer minutes of late than he's normally. But he is a guy that can go ahead and hit that three-point shot. Big lift for Duke if they can give him the minutes. Easy baskets early for Arizona, but Cats have missed their last 6 attempts. Walton, turnaround, ends the streak.
Walton, a good passer, good shooter, can put up some big...
Jason, three-pointer. Got it! Hasn't had it all night, but when they had to, Garden. 6 on the biggest comeback in a Final Four game, back from 22 down to beat Maryland, and tonight they knocked out Arizona. That's it. Duke has the championship. And Coach K is the proud father of 3 in more ways than one.
This is his toughest team. Maybe not the most talented, but the toughest. Jimmy, not the game we expected, the way it was played. But in any case, these are 2 really outstanding basketball teams that represented college basketball oh so well.
I talked to you last night about how...
Called Next Turf. And Hall of Famer Jim Bunning, the great senator from Kentucky who pitched that perfect day, had his number retired, number 14. He had a perfect game back in 1964. Picking up in the first inning, it's Ricky Gutierrez, blooping one off of Randy Wolf, 1-0 now, Cubbies. Then Young does the exact same thing in the second. Another bloop, Damon Buford scores 2-0 Cubs. Then in the fourth, Mike Lieberthal tries to get one back, drives a double there, and here comes Travis Lee. He's chugging. He says, I'm going to score for you guys. I'm going to make you happy. And 2-1 Chicago, he's safe. Moving to the 6th now, Amari Telemaco in for Wolf, and he makes a mistake. That's Julio Zuleta, long, and he is gone. Solo shot, 3-1 Cubs. Or that should be 2-1 Cubs. Bottom of the 7th, it's now 3-2. Phils with 2 men on. Pat Burrell caught looking like Tom Van Poppel there to end the threat. Looked like it was outside to me. The Phils' last chance now. Chicago's Jeff Passero in relief, facing a Bobby Abreu, and Abreu popping up. That was the last chance. Phillies dropped their home opener to the Cubbies. 3-2 is the final.
A win today. Despite his early solo homer by Chicago's Bill Mueller, Mueller just hits it off the fair pole. See? Just fair. Just fair. Now, from that point on, though, well, Robert Person perfect like pepperoni on pizza. No runs, 3 hits, struck out 5. Cubs starter John Lieber actually took a no-hitter into the bottom of the 5th before Travis Lee broke it up. And then, how about Person, the pitcher, helping himself with a bases-clearing shot right there to make it 3-1.
Robert Person.
Yeah, Robert Person with bases-clearing double. Jose Mesa then came on to seal the deal in the top of the 9th. How did he do it? Well, he struck out Sammy Sosa and some guy named Roosevelt Brown, as the Phils do indeed win it 3-1.
He relishes being the man that many fans love when we handed them the cameras. And you'll see it all, raw, real, and uncut. Then preview other all-new Girls Gone Wild titles. Satisfaction guaranteed. Cancel anytime. If you're over 18, call 1-800-454-6200.
I'm here at First Union just to get a sense of the temperature because it was so cold in the arena. The players were really complaining, and the kids with injuries who are playing and then taking more time than they usually do on the bench, they were getting cold so quickly that it made sense for them to stay in the game.
You actually made a report on that in the second.
Together. The other thing, if you look at the 2 games against Monmouth and Utah State, or rather, who did they play in the first round? Hofstra and...
Hair down.